Okay, here is the update on my 2004 Cadillac DeVille funeral limo. Um, it's already turning into a project as soon as I got it home. So, this car has 38,000 miles. I figured I'm going to go through, flush out all the fluids, just as that's just what I do whenever I buy a used car. I just go ahead and replace all the fluids because that's what I like to do. So I figured, well, start with the cooling system. Well, to my surprise, a couple things. One, the car did not have dexcool in it. It had the ethylene glycol, the green stuff. So I thought, well, that's strange. At such low mileage, why would they have ever flushed the coolant system to begin with? Most places just wouldn't deal with something like that unless there was an issue. And if they did bother to change the coolant, why didn't they use the dexcool as recommended per the manufacturer? So as soon as I saw that it had green fluid in the reservoir, I started looking into dexcool. And I got a lot of varied opinions, whether it's good, bad, or otherwise. And I have come to the conclusion that I will not use dexcool. I'm going to use anything other than dexcool, and here's why. So this thing is obviously kind of dirty. I have tried to wash this out using Easy Off. I soaked this in, I pretty much sprayed a bunch of Easy Off into it and let it soak for a while, which did help a lot. But there is a lot of crusty stuff at the bottom of this tank. And this is, like I said, I've already tried to wash this kind of to the best of my ability. So I've ordered a new coolant reservoir. I should get that in tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. I'm skeptical as to the quality. What I'm going to get as a replacement. But anyway, I don't like the way this looks, and there's a bunch of junk inside that doesn't seem to want to come out very easily. So that's going in the trash right away. Next thing. Somebody had installed this little spigot-looking valve, which I believe this hose goes to the heater core, I believe. But they installed this in line here, and that is just completely screwed up. I mean, that's really bad. So there's strike one against dexcool. Then you look at the hose, it's completely clogged too. So now I got to replace at least a section of hose here. So this is the conclusion I came to. I'm not going to use dexcool. And now I have to do my very best to flush out every single thing, because this engine has, I forget what this is called. There's a bunch of small passageways that can get clogged, including this here. I forget what they call this, but this is something I saw that people need to be cognizant of. Your thermostat is down here, and I'm going to do with this car basically what I did with my Lincoln is I'm going to take the thermostat out, and I'm going to leave the majority of the thermostat intact, but I'm going to cut out the actual valve that opens and closes. And so the thermostat is effectively always open. It's not going to be a completely, I'm not going to completely eliminate the thermostat, but so it's still going to have a little restriction in there, but it will be open at all times. And so I'm going to try to cycle. Basically, I'm going to get the new reservoir tank in, put everything back together, replace this line here. This side is slightly better, I guess. I'm not going to replace all the hoses in here. I don't know if this was a factory original line or not. I don't know. It seems kind of out of place here. It seems a bit odd that they would have this line just kind of hanging out here. Anyway, so I'm going to clean this out as much as I can. I'm going to basically top it off with distilled water, let it sit in there for a few days, drain it out again, and then repeat that process a few more times. And then I'm going to replace it with a all-vehicle formula coolant That's what I'm going to do. A modern all-vehicle coolant. And from what I've read, the newer coolants are actually better at corrosion protection, which is really ideally what you want. You really want the corrosion protection probably above everything else. So I cleaned this up here. This was really, really crusty. It was looking like this. So, but it's interesting that at such low mileage, somebody had already made an attempt to flush this stuff out, and it was pretty gunked up. So no more dexcool for me. That's a no-no. I'm convinced you shouldn't use dexcool. Anyway, that's the update for now.